3 guys on an engine, and we're going to show up. The way we operate, and I can just give you a scenario, our driver stays with that engine. So he shows up, the driver, depending on the type of call, will sit in the engine, and then the 3 guys get off and do the EMS call. That procedure is going to change, where the driver is now part of the crew. So you're still going to have 3 guys getting off that engine, going and taking care of the patient or taking care of whatever the emergency is. So it's just a matter of changing how we deploy our resources and setting a policy.
I understand your argument, Chief. I'm just trying to have you clarify for us. Well, let's do it a different way. If we keep the same level of service per engine that we have now in the citywide, and to add a 3rd station on the Eastern Plateau, isn't it true that we would be adding at least a dozen more firefighters?
No.
So if we went to the model of 4, 4, 4, and 2.
Correct.
If we went to 4, 4, 4, and 2, we would be adding 12 additional.
12. Okay. Versus the 2 that you're not proposing.
Yes.
And Chief, you know about the OSHA regulation or requirement of 2 in, 2 out, don't you?
I certainly do.
I hope you do. I'm sure you do. And just for the sake of the public, that means when a fire truck responds to a call before a firefighter can enter a premises in the event of a fire, for example. We had, unfortunately, recently on Woodlawn Avenue. Fire truck pulls up and doesn't have at least 4 men on the truck, nobody can enter the building.
And under the OSHA 2 into level, that would be correct.
That's 2 at the state with the truck in order for 2 to enter the building, correct?
That would be 2. There would have to be at least 4 people on scene for somebody to enter a structure fire.
At all.
In an ideal age, immediately danger to life and health.
I understand that. But fire is an immediately dangerous and
Well,
life-threatening situation.
it is, but I mean, a waste paper basket fire is not an ideal age. So there's, and that's why I said critical thinking, critical decision making by an officer would help alleviate some of this stuff. And the way we would get around that, you're right, that when we arrive on the first new engine and we have a working structure fire, the officer has to make some decisions. But our policies will change that. Right now, our first new engine goes to the house, grabs a hose, and goes to the front door, and then goes in the structure. What the change will be, and the second new engine establishes a water supply. What will happen is the first new engine now will do an assessment. They will establish a water supply and bring the hose lines up into the doorway and wait for the second crew to arrive. You were talking